The matchup no one realized that they wanted as badly as they do. Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jung against Frankie Edgar. Oh, woo! Mama!
And we're here to break it down for you
We're
guys.
going to break this down for you guys. Will Chan Sung Jung retire Frankie Edgar, an absolute legend of the sport?
And he absolutely will, because Korean Zombie is also a legend in his own right.
Not the same kind of legend. Not like Frankie.
Listen, here's the thing. I think that Frankie's time to shine is now behind him. I think he was running from the 145 division at this point. He was making his weight cut. Not that it's a drastic weight cut to 135. I think that his chin has been kind of rocked a little bit.
He's been finished once.
Yeah. By Ortega.
Which would have put out a damn mule.
Who knows?
Francis Ngannou would have gone out to that damn uppercut the way Ortega threw it. I disagree entirely. Frankie Edgar, again, has only been finished by Brian Ortega. He has only lost to truly elite opposition throughout the duration of his entire UFC career. Aside from arguably Brian Ortega, but Ortega was on an amazing streak at the time.
He was.
And it's kind of hard to say, no one can say how elite Ortega is or isn't right now. We just don't have enough answers about the man.
Yes.
So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on Ortega. But Holloway, elite.
Yes.
Aldo,
elite.
Damn elite.
Yeah.
Like GOAT level elite.
Yes.
In the conversation at least.
Well, and that's kind of the one reason why I think that Korean Zombie is actually going to beat Edgar, because it was a fucking fierce competition against Aldo.
Oh, it was bad.
I think...
Oh, see, I don't actually even think it was that close of a fight, to be honest. The second time Aldo fought Edgar?
Oh, no. I'm talking about Korean Zombie.
Oh, against Aldo.
Yeah, against Aldo. I think that was probably the most adversity Aldo had ever faced until he fought McGregor
and Holloway.
And it wasn't because Aldo knocked him out. It was because...
he dislocated his shoulder,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think Korean Zombie was fucking... If not tied, he was winning against Aldo. And Edgar has never come that close.
Yeah, I don't put stock in MMA math.
Sure.
But I do take your point. Like, Korean Zombie did push Jose Aldo a lot more than Frankie Edgar did. But here's why. I think Korean Zombie matched up with Aldo better than Frankie does. And I think that Aldo is the best counter wrestler that we've ever seen in MMA.
Yeah.
I don't think that Chan Sung Jung has rangy striking, which, as we saw from McGregor and Holloway, is what troubles Jose Aldo the most.
And not Frankie Edgar?
I don't think rangy striking is the issue with Frankie. I think... And also, Chan Sung Jung doesn't actually, work at range the same way Aldo or Holloway does. Yeah. To be fair. Like, Chan Sung Jung... He does benefit from his reach, but he doesn't
has the power to stop, to not only... when has there ever been a good wrestler that has been able to effectively shoot over and over again on the back foot?
But I think, here's my issue. Edgar, Chan Sung Jung, Korean Zombie hasn't fought anybody that nearly even comes close to sniffing the pace that Edgar puts on. Fair. Edgar is going to be the highest volume fighter he's faced. He's going to have the best cardio of anybody that Chan Sung Jung has faced. And he's going to be the best MMA wrestler that he's ever faced. And those three are a terrible combination to be up against. I think that Frankie's volume is going to outperform Chan Sung Jung. I think he's going to be able to pressure Chan Sung Jung. And I think Korean Zombie is actually going to be the one on the back foot.
So I think that Edgar's wrestling is absolutely amazing.
It's amazing.
I don't think his striking is nearly at the same level as his wrestling. I think his striking's okay, but I think that the person that's going to be able to pressure in this fight is going to be Korean Zombie. And not only pressure, but actually potentially knock out Frankie again, because I think that Korean Zombie actually has more power than Ortega, to be quite honest with you. I think that... he just simply has more power. He's going to have more pressure. And not that I've seen it, but Dennis Bermudez was a great great wrestler. Not as great as Frankie Edgar.
Arguable though. It is arguable.
but
Like
he-
Bermudez, when Bermudez was on his streaks, because he was a very streaky fighter, his MMA wrestling was fantastic. It's hard to know if Korean Zombie started Dennis Bermudez's bad streak because of how good Korean Zombie is, or if Dennis Bermudez had already started downsliding. Because Korean Zombie was the first fight that he lost in that 4-fight losing streak before he lost one back against the guy without a Wikipedia page and then retired. But Korean Zombie was the first of 4 losses Dennis had.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know if he was already declining or if that loss is what sent him into decline.
So I would argue that is the loss that sent him into decline, obviously.
Because it fits your narrative.
Absolutely. But the thing is that I think Korean Zombie's wrestling defense was so good that the only thing Dennis Bermudez had against him was to spam the overhand right, which was affecting Zombie. So I don't think Edgar's striking is going to be able to match Zombie's, and I think Zombie is going to actually retire Frankie this time around. I could be wrong, but either way, this is going to be a fucking phenomenal fight. I cannot wait to see this fight.
I'm really excited. It answers a lot of questions about both guys and where they stand in their career for sure, which are the best kinds of MMA fights you can ever have. And is Korean Zombie a truly elite featherweight? If he beats Frankie Edgar, he is. Is Frankie Edgar still an elite level fighter? If he beats Korean Zombie, I think he is.
And I also think that I think Korean Zombie would have beaten Ortega. That's just my take.
That'd be a great fight. You know, if he
it was a fight. It was the fight. Ortega was going to fight Korean Zombie, and then Ortega.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Oh man, that makes me just so sad.
Yeah,
I had
that would've
forgotten
been
that was.
amazing.
I got so excited about Edgar versus Korean Zombie. I had forgotten that this was a matchup that was thrown together late notice.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think it being a late notice fight does favor Korean Zombie more because Korean Zombie is not a game plan based fighter. He's a chaos based fighter who goes in to do sort of the same thing every fight. Not that he makes good reads while the action's going on and stuff, but he doesn't game plan and fight differently depending on the opponent.
Yes.
Edgar does game plan. So the fact that it's late notice, Edgar won't have as much time to game plan. His coaches won't have as much time to go through and watch footage on Korean Zombie.
So have I swayed you?
I'm swaying myself.
Oh, what?
But I'm saying I think that does favor Korean Zombie. It leans the scale slightly more to Zombie. And the other thing that Zombie has in his favor that I see is that Frankie was preparing to go down to 135. Now there's so much that Frankie is a bantamweight.
Yeah.
He's a natural bantamweight. He's been fighting up weight classes his entire career, but we don't know how he was planning to make bantamweight.
Yeah.
We don't know if he was planning to cut water. We don't know if he was planning to cut muscle mass. If he was cutting muscle mass and now he's trying to put it back on, oftentimes fighters mess that up. And then they end up with bad cardio issues, or they end up there's tons of things that could be problematic for Edgar, because when you're switching weight classes, it's a damn delicate balance. So I think those two things are what give Korean Zombie, and factored into his power, are what give Korean Zombie's best chances.
Yeah.
Edgar has never been submitted.
Yeah.
Ever in his entire
and
MMA
Korean
career.
Zombie's not like a wizard in submissions or anything
Honestly,
like that.
he kind of is, though.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah. Korean Zombie, he's a BJJ for MMA wizard, man. He has a twister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Korean Zombie
Holy
has a
shit.
twister. But I think that Edgar's submission defense, and I actually rate Edgar as one of the best MMA grapplers in all of MMA.
I just don't think that the same reason why Bermudez didn't want to take down Zombie is going to be the same reason why Edgar.
Why I think Bermudez couldn't take down Zombie. And I do think that Edgar's grappling is better than Bermudez's as far as submission defense and that side of grappling.
So
I think it's arguable who's the better
How does
wrestler.
Edgar get into his takedowns? And it's by the strikes that he does.
It's the knee tap. Edgar favors the knee tap. He basically
But he uses strikes to get into that.
Well, that's the thing though. He will push the pace. Frankie will box. I just think that
I don't think he'll be able to take down
Korean
the
Zombie's
pace.
never fought a pressure, high volume fighter, especially not one as elite as Edgar, man.
Fair enough.
That's what I see. Now you could be right. Maybe Korean Zombie comes out and is just throwing bombs. He's a taller fighter, and that puts Frankie on the back foot. I think it's really one of those matchups where it's like whoever's moving backwards is going to lose.
Yeah. But overall, I think this is going to be a tremendous fight.
I'm so excited.
I think both of these men have crazy fucking chins. And I think it's going to be one of the funnest cards and maybe the most underrated cards of this
I'm
whole entire
surprised
year.
people aren't more hype about it.
Yeah.
It's a great fight. That being said, guys, we won't be live streaming our reactions to it, unfortunately, because we have to go out of town. But we will get our reactions up on Sunday if it warrants a reaction. We will remain unspoiled.
And we'll upload our KO reaction.
Yeah, when Edgar beats the snot out of Korean Zombie on the ground, we will upload our reactions to it, and it'll be wonderful.